Y no me digan que es verdad, si dentro de la fama queda poca humildad. ¿Y cuánto tiempo pasará para darle bendición a toda la humanidad? Y no me digan que es verdad, si dentro de la fama queda poca humildad. ¿Y cuánto tiempo pasará para darle bendición a toda la humanidad?
Vivo entre personas que no saben apreciar el corazón, pues el mundo se volvió superficial. Todos tienen 10.000 caras, ya no sé ni a cuál mirar. Si sé que los labios de todas me pueden engañar, y aún aprendo a ir a mi ritmo y a los demás respetar. Pero nunca iré de listo, la vida aún me ha de enseñar. Aprendizaje constante, jamás deja de soñar. Saber mirar hacia adelante y en las demás no pensar. Pero darte pena ni que me digas qué tal, pues mirándome a los ojos lo podrás averiguar. Ya tan solo siento pena por el que le gusta actuar sin pensar en las consecuencias que le pueden causar.
Y no me digan que es verdad, si dentro de la fama queda poca humildad. ¿Y cuánto tiempo pasará para darle bendición a toda la humanidad? Y no me digan que es verdad, si dentro de la fama queda poca humildad. ¿Y cuánto tiempo pasará para darle bendición a toda la humanidad?
Que se cuentan aquellos que dañan al corazón, solo quieren tu dinero y sentarse en el sillón. Y son tan malos como Don, mienten en cada canción, viven bien en Babilón. Solo pido que acabe su veneno, que no sean tan malos, que sean toma bueno. En mi mensaje nada le pone freno, me quemo, si te veo llorar yo me muero, manego. Lord, it's a reggae music, fire not a road. Some Lord, Rasta Chai Connection, estudio guión. Some Lord, it's a reggae music, fire not a road. Some love of a mind, Rasta Chai Connection, estudio guión. Tengan cuidado, cara suena bien pegado. Cuando llega aquí a un estudio, ando reggae trabajado. Muchas cosas malas en la vida han pasado, pero solo con las buenas mis hermanos siempre se han quedado.
Y no me digan que es verdad, si dentro de la fama queda poca humildad. ¿Y cuánto tiempo pasará para darle bendición a toda la humanidad? Y no me digan que es verdad, si dentro de la fama queda poca humildad. ¿Y cuánto tiempo pasará para darle bendición a toda la humanidad?
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Hey, Shalom family. All right, check it out. Obviously, you guys know what today is, so I'm not gonna take too long. I'm not trying to assume that you guys are celebrating, but I'm sure at least you can take advantage of the 4th day that we have upon us. Anyhow, listen. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna read you guys something real quick, and give some scriptures, and then I'm gonna show you the quick video, and then the one from the other day. I think that it was a 3-hour class, but there was one section for like 30 minutes that is extremely important. Okay. I don't expect you guys to watch live. So, I didn't want to put this on and record it because then it doesn't hit everybody. So whether you catch it now or catch it later, you know what I mean? It's all good, man. All praise to the Most High that we get a chance to see this. Before I get going, I do want to read this to you guys. Okay. So I'm going to try to get this done as soon as possible. All right. So let me go here first. It says here, actually, no, let me go to Isaiah 26. All right. Again, let's begin. All right. It's going to be, I'm going to try to get it done in an hour. Okay. Let's begin. It says in Isaiah 26:1, in that day shall this song be sung on the land of Judah. We have a strong city, salvation with God appointed for walls and bulwark. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he has trusted in thee. Trust ye in the Lord forever. For in the Lord Jehovah, remember this word, okay? We're going to touch it again, is everlasting strength. For he bringeth down them that dwell in the high. The lofty city he layeth low. He layeth it low even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor, and the steps of the needy. Let me go verse 7, and I'm going to do a regular so you guys can understand. The Lord, you make the path smooth for good people. The road they travel is level. We follow you, we follow your will, and put our hope in you. You are all that we desire. At night, I long for you with all my heart. When you judge the earth and its people, they will all learn what justice is. Even though you are kind to the wicked, let me read that again. Even though you are kind to the wicked, they never learn to do what is right. Even here in a land of righteous people, they still do wrong. They refuse to recognize your greatness because he created our people. Your enemies do not know that you will punish them. Lord, put them to shame and let them suffer. Let them suffer the punishment you have prepared. Show them how you love your people. You see this? You see this? Show them how you love your people. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 15. Watch this real quick. It says, Isaiah 60:14. It reads, the descendants of those who oppressed you will come and now bow low to show their respect. All who despise you will worship at your feet. They will call you the city of the Lord, Zion, the city of Israel, holy God. Remember, Israel is a people before a land. You will no longer be forsaken and hated. Listen to this, family. You will no longer be forsaken and hated. A city deserted and desolate, right? A city deserted and desolate. I will make you a great and beautiful, a place of joy forever and ever. Now, check this out, okay? I'm going to show you this video real quick here. Watch this, watch this, watch this. We're going to touch on... hold on, let me close this up real quick because I don't need you. I don't need you. I did this the other day. I need you. I don't need you. Okay. So, if you guys know who this guy is. Okay, this guy, Cootie Mayo, this sellout damn demon. Let me put it on the camera. Hold up. Straight up demon, man. Watch this. I'm gonna read something to you guys real quick, so I could show you how they literally just where you at? There you go, fam. Like I'm gonna show you exactly what he does. Okay, he brings out this book here, James Adair, A History of the North American Indians. Okay. Now, by the way, the title of the class, it's called, give me a second. This here. They know about us. It's that simple. They know about us. Okay. Don't be fooled. Give me a second, fam. Give me a second, real quick. Okay. So watch this. I hope you guys catch it. All right. Listen to what this guy says here. And I'm going to skip you a few seconds. So I want to show you how this demon, and this goes for you wabos, okay? You dummy wabos, man. You guys need to learn how to read. Seriously. You guys really need to learn how to read. Excuse me. I woke up a little while ago, man. I couldn't sleep last night. I was thinking of this class. Okay? Because here it clearly tells you who you are. And it tells you, and by family, I also want to share something. It proves here what has been basically been shared lately of how our people, they found pictures of us, dark skin and light skin. Even AMLO presented that in the one of his morning sessions. Okay? In one of his morning sessions, he presented that. So now check this out. This is what this demon does. All right, let's go. I'm gonna put you in check, Cody. And guess what, bro? Ramen, you're not about. Guess what? We know where you're at. I'm just telling you. So you, what do you call it? Black Americans. We'll call you guys that. So did identify you. Because I'm not gonna use a Canaanite just yet. So you guys need to learn how to read. Seriously. Okay? You need to read. And don't go by videos that they show you several pages and then completely ignore the most important one. So let's listen into this guy, all right? Let's go.
Business, on vacation, or abroad? people.
YouTube TV has no hidden fees and includes unlimited DVR.
Line number 1 already. Let's go.
American history, like we told you last. And then I want you to teach your kids biblical history, because it is our history. And it matters, as I will show you tonight.
The history of the American Indian.
The history of the American Indian. I really dislike this dude, man. And I hate his accent. I think he sounds so dumb. But you are getting help from your big poppy, so I get it. It's family. He's going to go through this whole entire book, right? And he's going to point this out. James the Deer, blah, blah, blah. Typical stuff, man. You know, he's going to go here and say James the Deer, who James the Deer is, right? Yes. I get you that he's supposedly a Jew. All right. And then he's talking about how he hung around us and all that stuff, right? So check it. He's going all through that, blah, blah, blah. This whole history. I've showed you guys this book, showing you that it's confirming that he was supposedly a Sephardic Jew, something to that effect, all right? But then he uses all these stupid ass, excuse my language, stupid ass pictures of people that are not.
36 of this.
I'm sorry, this is not our people. First of all, these are Moors, right? You Negroes been mixing with the white man for a long time. You've been getting gaggle daddies from the white man. I'm sorry to tell you, this is just a fact, all right? I'm just going to go hard on you guys because I'm sick and tired of this shit. Look at this. All right, so he goes off and does this. And by the way, F with your fourth, all right? That's what I say, because my fourth is every day now. The truth would set me free, and it has. So you see, he goes around and tells you, right, exactly who these people are, right? So it's like a confusion of sopa de fideo, a bunch of letters and ideas and suggestions and you know, you Black Americans, you guys are like amazed by this whole ideology that, oh my God, he must be right because he's going so deep in these books and he's saying this and he's saying that and he must be correct. And look, here it goes right here, boom. Then he's talking about that these are the Jacobites and they're the real Jews and blah, blah, blah. But they're the black folks enslaved black folks. Okay. So we're just going through. I'm going pretty fast because I'm going to try to get to the point. I need to read something. So then now he goes into the book, the history of American Indians, right? So let's see. He's reading a bunch of different things. Now, I'm not going to play the entire thing, all right? I want to show how he brings up, then he goes up to this one, Christopher Columbus and the participating Jews. Okay, cool. Hebrews, Chaldee. Then he puts these. Oh, man. Anyhow, then he says here, let's say it again.
Them lineally descended from the Israelites, either while they were
Israelites, man. Come on. At least freaking know how to read.
a maritime power, or soon after the general captivity. The latter, however, is the most probable. This descent I shall endeavor to prove from their religious right. All right, James Adair is going to prove it to you.
All right, so he's going to say, James Adair is going to prove it to you. Okay, cool. So he goes in here, particular favorite Jewish descent. He talks about Jewish descent, right? And he talks about Jewish descent. Let's see. Then he mentions Jehovah. So by the way, One West, BHI's, all of you guys, okay? You did not know, and all you white folks, all you Europeans, you didn't know the name of our Father until you came here. Even though you knew the so-called, you had the Hebrew language, but you couldn't even pronounce it properly, which we're gonna verify again, okay? So it's gonna be a two-topic thing, and I'm trying to move fast, fam. I'm not trying to be here that long. All right. So he goes here. I'm trying to get to the point. He goes and shows it again. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So he's like, oh, look at the word agua and all this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, he's going to get to the point. He's going to get to the point because I'm sure he's going to read what I read, right? And he's like way in the page now. Not here, he's in page 7, okay? So page 7 is not too far from the page I'm going to read to you after this. Then it says Shalom Shabbatat. Man, y'all are just a mixed soup of ignorance, stupidity. I'm going to laugh. You guys, I'm going to laugh at you when I read this because it's literally like, I don't understand why you guys don't read. I don't get it. I don't understand, family. Shalom, family. Happy 4th of July. Yeah, exactly, bro. So check it out. And I know that whoever's going to come and you're not going to stick around because you're probably too busy celebrating this damn holiday. Then you're saying that you're about the Most High, but then you're celebrating this holiday. And you're getting drunk or whatever you're doing, smoking, because you guys do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Recordings just got better.
Oh, shush it. So then he goes in here, right? He's just bringing up a bunch of slingers, man. That's all it is. Look, brings this up.
History of the American Indian.
All right, so he's still talking with his dumbass accent. Here we go. Let's listen into this.
Religious attendant is ordered to call 6 of their old beloved women to come to the temple and dance the beloved dance with joyful hearts, according to the old beloved speech. They cheerfully obey and enter the supposed holy ground in solemn procession, each carrying in her hand a bundle of small branches of various green trees. And they join the same number of old magi, or priests, who carry a cane in one hand adorned with white feathers, having likewise green bows in their other hand, which they pulled from their holy arbor, and carefully placed there, encircling it with several rounds. Those beloved men have their heads dressed with white plumes, but the women are decked in their finest and anointed with bear's grease, having small tortoise shells with white pebbles fastened to a piece of white dressed deerskin, which is tied to each of their legs. The eldest of the priests leads the sacred dance, ahead of the innermost row, which of course is next to the holy fire. He strive up, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Shut your ass up, dumbass. Yeah, I'm calling this fool out. I'm telling you, family, I hate this. No, you know what? It's righteous hate. It's righteous hate because this is how you destroy a people. And then, you know what? I don't feel sorry for you Black Americans. I really don't, man. Y'all are falling for this shit. And it's like, dude, it's so pathetic. It's literally pathetic. I can't believe you guys don't even read, man. So he goes into all of these things about Yahweh and all this and that, right? The proper pronunciation of our Father, the Creator. He goes and shows these... I didn't even see that, family. Honestly, this is... all right, so you see. All right, it's okay, cool. You got it. Look, and he's like, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh She, Yahweh Shai. Damn, BHIs, y'all are dumb. So anyways, and look, they go to this book. The Wabos love this book, fam. The Wabos love this book. The Hebrew, to exist, blah, blah, blah. Dumbass horn coming out of his ass. All right. So now let's explore this book. So I'm going to read it real quick and then we're going to move on because it's a really a one-punch knockout. This guy's stupid. Very dumb. Jorimeo, I'm calling you a dumbass. A dumbass. A very big sellout. Or you're a straight Khazarian. Either way, you're one of the two of Revelation 2:9. Okay? So let's begin. It says the Indians are of a copper or red clay color, and they delight in everything which they imagine may promote and increase it. So pause for a moment. You see this? They are copper or red clay color, and they delight in everything which they imagine may promote and increase it. I'm sorry, but Black Americans, Africans, you cannot increase your tan. And white folks can't either. You get red. Okay? And I don't mean like red clay red. I'm talking about red like a crab red, and you burn and peel. Accordingly, they paint their faces with vermilion as the best and most beautiful ingredient. If we consider the common law of nature and providence, we should not be surprised at the custom, for everything loves best its own likeness, and placed in the creation and is disposed to ridicule its opposite. Watch this. Donati differentiates between the Indians and the Africans. If a deformed son of burning Africa was to paint the devil, he would not do it in a black color, nor delineate him from shagged, coarse, woolly head, nor with thick lips, or a short, flat nose, or clumsy feet, like those of a bear. This devil would represent one of the different nations or people. But he was to draw an agreeable picture according to the African's taste. Okay, watch this real quick. All the Indians are strongly attached to and prejudiced in favor of their own color that they think is meanly of white. Remember this, as we possibly can do of them. The English traders among them experience much of it and are often very glad to be allowed to pass muster with Indian chieftain as fellow brethren. Okay, give me a second. Hold up. Man, what the hell's going on with this, dude? This is really bothering me. I literally played this the whole time. Oh, God. Here we go. All right. Let me see this. The English traders among them experience much of it and are often very glad to be allowed as past musters with the Clindian. Okay, here it goes. Hold on. All right. Now, let's go to page. I'm going to get to the point, okay? Same body, traders, Choctaw, war speeches, you know, all of these things, right? Many incidents, customs, and all of these things. The bottom part says that the Indians is merely that the Indian color is merely okay. Let me go back. Okay, watch this. Let's not forget. Let's not skip anything. This is the page because it's page 2. Hey man, he's a punk and he's stupid. And quite frankly, man, when I get a hold of his ass, bro, it's over. Watch this. Sometime past, a large body of English Indian traders on their way to Choctaw country were escorted by a body of Creek and Choctaw warriors. The Creeks having a particular friendship for some of the traders. By the way, to read these two, it's the F and the S are similar. So the F or the S doesn't cross the line. When it's an F, it crosses the line like an F. So in this case, this is an S. So when you see that line on the left, that's an S. For some of the traders who had treated them pretty liberally, took the opportunity to chide the Choctaw before the traders in a smart, though friendly way for not allowing the English name of a human creature. Blah, blah, blah. All right, here it goes. Watch this. Here's the point. Here's the point, fam. The hotter or colder the climate where the Indians have long resided, the greater proportion they either of the red, the white, or color. Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. The hotter or colder the climate where the Indians have long resided, the greater proportion they have either of the red, the white, or the color. Okay, let's continue. So when I read that, I'm like, wait, so let me show you something, fam. I've never read this book. I've seen it and I've heard it in other classes. It never interested me. I've always had it, but I didn't really know how to read it, to be honest, because the wordings and the else's and all that, I didn't know. So I didn't even bother. But lately I was like, let me pick it up. And I'm like literally reading the book. I'm at page 75 right now. I started reading it last night at 2 a.m. It's really crazy what happens to me. And all of a sudden I'm like, what are they missing, man? Ain't this the book the Wabos love to use in Curimeo, Cuculeo, and all them damn idiots? I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me continue reading. Then it says, I took particularly notice of the Shawano Indians as they were passing from the north within 50 miles of the Chickasaw country to that of the Creeks. And by comparing them with Indians which I accompanied them, I observed that the Shawana to be much fairer than the Chickasaw. Though I am satisfied their endeavors to cultivate the copper color were alike. Many incidents and observations led me to believe that the Indian color is not natural. You see this, family? What he's saying is that this color of ours is not natural. It's not natural, and he's correct. He's correct. Watch this. Many incidents and observations lead me to believe that the Indian color is not natural, but that the external difference between them and the white, right, the British, right? Not the European black ones that mix with them, the white ones, proceed entirely from their custom method of living and not from any inherent spring of nature, which will entirely overturn Lord Kame's whole system of color and separate of races. Watch this. That the Indian color is merely accidental or artificial, for God's sakes. It is, because we can tan. Like right now in the summer, I tan so easy. This was like just 2 hours of me hanging out in the sun, fam. And I put oil because they're going to show you here how we do that. This is us. But I don't understand why you wobbles don't read this. Listen, watch this. It appears pretty evident that the Indian color is merely accidental and artificial. Appears pretty evident. Their own traditions record them to have come to their present lands by the way of the West from a far distant country where there was no variation of color in human beings. And they are entirely ignorant to which was the first or primitive color, meaning they don't know if they were light or dark skin originally. Besides their riots and customs, as we shall present 3c, prove them to be Orientals. And as the color of, he doesn't agree with it. He just let me read it again. Besides their rights, customs, and etc., as we shall presently see, prove them to be Orientalist. And as the difference of color among the human species is of the principal cause of separation, strife, and be bloodshed, the difference between us, would it not be greatly reflected on the goodness and justice of the divine being? Ignominiously to brand numerous tribes and their posterity with a color odious and hateful in the sight and opinion of a whole different color. Some writers have contended from the diversity of color written that America was peopled from any part of Asia or of the old world, but that the natives were a separate creation. So other people say that we were like pre-Adamites, right? Because we didn't look like any other people of the European continent. Hello, wobbles. Please read. So then he goes, of this opinion, Lord King James, and he later established his, hold on a second. Let me see where it's at. It's because there was supposedly not a single hair on us, right? Let me skip it. Okay, weakness and incapable, no, acknowledge the Spanish inhabitants. Okay, here it goes, right here. We are informed by the anatomical observation of the American physicians concerning the Indians that they have discerned a certain fine cowl or web of a red glue substance close under their outer skin, to which reflects the color. So they're just trying to figure out why these guys look different. Supposedly the explanation of their skin, blah, blah, blah. All right. So it says here, add this to their constant. Okay, so here it goes. And experience, which is the best medium to discover truth, gives the true cause why this corpus mucosum, meaning the color, glued web is red in the Indians and white in us. The parching winds and hot sunbeams beating upon their naked bodies and their various gradations of life necessarily tarnish their skins with the tawny red color. To add to this, their constant anointing themselves with bare oils or grease mixed with a certain red shoot, which by a particular property is able alone in a few years' time to produce the Indian color in those who are white born. Who the hell are you guys, man? Are you guys not reading this? These metamorphoses I have often seen. At the Shawnee main camp, I saw in Pennsylvania a white man by birth in possession of a Christian who by inclemency, this is the last page I'm going to read. There's a lot in here, man. His endeavors improving the red color was tarnished as a deep and Indian hue as any of the camp, though they had been in the woods only a space of 4 years. We may easily conclude then what is fixed change of color, such as constant method of life, would produce. For the color being once thoroughly established, nature would, as it were, forget herself not to beget her own dislikeness. Besides, may we not suppose that the imagination can impress the animalculate, I guess, in the time of occupation? So here is basically telling us, family, that our people had what? As the American Indians are of a reddish or copper color, so in general they are strong, well proportioned in body and limbs, surprisingly active, nimble, and their own ways living. Why didn't he read this? Page 2. The Indian color is merely artificial. Why? Because we love our skin tone and we know that we can sunbathe. And we use a variety of oils, like today, like myself, I use olive oil. I don't use chemicals. I use olive oil and I tan very well, like my son. I don't want to show him. My son tans very well. We put olive oil on our kids so they don't peel. I don't understand what he's not reading. It literally is telling you that the color of our people is basically a metamorphosis. What do you look? The hotter or colder the climate is, where the Indians have long resided, the greater portion they have, they either of the red, the white color. What's more? I don't get it, family. So why didn't you read this, culo male? Why didn't you show this to these wabos? Because you're leading them to destruction. And they're not my people, but still, I don't wish no destruction upon anybody. I don't. But clearly it says here, add this to their constant anointing themselves with bear oils and grease mixed with a certain red shoot, which by a particular property is able alone in a few years' time to produce the Indian color in those who are white born, like my children, like many of our children. When we have kids, some of our kids are light skinned, and as we get older, they get darker. My brother Miguel, my brother Chato Javier, he was light skinned, he's dark now. My son, he's light skinned, but they get me. I was light skinned, real light skinned when I was born, and I tanned. But now that we're not out in the world, we're not out fielding, we're not out, working the fields like we used to, harvesting, we lose our tan. But the moment we walk out, we get it right back. So I don't understand what the deal is here. I really don't get it. That's why I'm telling you, family, they know who you are. They know more about you than you know more about yourself. And they're going to use every single ability or opportunity to claim that these are them. You saw his video. I didn't put no words in his mouth. He ignored this. But here it clearly says, this is James the Deer. He's saying that the natives, they were white, red, and dark. And that any chance they could to get darker, they would. And they would use oils and all sorts of things to get that tan. And after a matter of time, from not being in the sun, it goes away. And there's another page where there's a child that was light skinned, and as he got older, he got darker. Darker, family. I'm telling you, man, this is not a joke. I'm gonna show you the next video before I move on. Okay, I'm gonna read this again. Isaiah 26. Watch this. I love this scripture. Let's go to verse 9. Isaiah 26:9. It says, "At night I long for you with all my heart. When you judge the earth and its people, they will all learn what justice is." Listen, family, I was up. I fell asleep at 4 a.m. thinking, reading this book, and just like, what in the world? BHI's One West made up this whole idea that they came up with Yahweh, which is not true. Yahweh Shai, it's in this book. Okay, and remember, I've never read this book. I didn't care for it. I had other stuff in mind. And then it says that we are a variety of colors and we use oils to darken ourselves up, like right now, like this right here, right? Watch this. So I'm reading and I couldn't sleep. I'm like, bro, I gotta do this class. Okay, 30 minutes, 40, cool. So now we got 25 minutes left on the other part. All right, so let me just read this. "At night, I long for you with all my heart. When you judge the earth and its people, they will all learn what justice is." So Lord willing, you guys will start learning and really embracing who you are according to the Bible. Smack these wobbles back, man. They have no clue what's going on. They don't read. unfortunately, but it's not our fault. Those are the heathens. Even though you are kind to the wicked, do you see this right here? Even though he's kind to the wicked, they're in our land, the most precious, most promising, most gifting land in the world. You get fruits, water, fish, like all kinds of things, man. The best weather, the best beaches. It says, where you're at, even though you are kind to the wicked, they never learn to do what is right. Just be honest. If you're the people of the Bible, you don't have to lie and stretch the truth. Just do what I do and read it and show them. I have never forced, or I don't have a narrative. What I show you guys says what I read. And I show you the scriptures. I don't hide like, oh, here's a slinger. I read. That's why I read a lot. So you guys can see the whole context. Watch this. At night, I long for you with all my heart. When you judge the earth and its people, they will all learn what justice is. Even though you are kind to the wicked, they never learn to do what is right. Even here, all right, in a land of righteous people, they still do wrong. They refuse to recognize your greatness. Your enemies do not know that you will punish them. God loves America. God loves America. Black Americans, white Americans, you all are enjoying this day for you. Enjoy it. I laugh. And then you other ones that try to claim like, oh no, we're not that. No, you are them. You are the Swarte Pete. You are Swarte Pete, the helper. The kidnapping our women and children to take them back to Spain. That's what the Swarte Pete is. He wasn't his servant like slave. Nah, you guys are teammates. Bloods and Crips. Pay attention. Even though you are kind to the wicked. I'm sorry, no. Verse 11. Your enemies do not know that you will punish them. Lord, put them to shame and let them suffer. And let them suffer the punishment that you have prepared. Show them how much you love your people. All right, check it. So now I'm going to play this video and we're going to end it with that. All right. I wanted to make sure that you guys don't miss this. It's about 25 minutes and it literally touches on a similarity. Okay. I wanted to read you guys the Wabo BS, the Cody Mail ignorance and stupidity. And now here's a BHI does it again. I don't know why you guys don't read the entire book. Let's go. And I'm just going to sit back and watch. All right, so I'm going to read this to you guys right here, okay? About 5 months ago, this person brought this book out and used this to claim that the Jews are black, okay? That's what he said, that the Jews are black. Now, I've shared this with you guys many times. And I've told you before, and even one of the brothers that, usually there's once in a while shows up, Meshi, he's like, hey, listen, you gotta read up and you gotta read down. You can't just go by, you can't just go by a slinger. Okay, watch this.
Nations, the other people from other nationalities, you know what I'm saying?
Listen to what he says, family. All right, let's continue.
The name of this book in here so people can look up this information. For this is just also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black. But this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who, marrying always among one another, begot children like themselves. Consequently, the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern regions. Right? So it says, even in the northern regions, they were all black. But then they said some Jews in Germany. That's when you got the the Khazars who became Jews. Those were the ones in Germany. And we're going to take a look at that too a little bit later in this session, right? But we can see here it says the Jews are all black. For this is true of them, always marrying. For this is only true of the Portuguese Jews. So the Spanish Inquisition was about the Portuguese Jews. This was all true about the Portuguese Jews. They were all black, who always married among one another. So now, because we know that was against the law to mix with other nations, the other people from other nationalities. You know what I'm saying? It was against our customs. And why that is, there's a particular reason why that is. And it's because of the inheritance, right? The inheritance, you want to pass that on to your children. Well, it's not about, a lot of things. For the Hebrews, it's about that promise. But if you're in sin, of course, you neglect that promise. You make sure you have children by consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race. So the whole race of the Portuguese Jews was black. That's established, right? And so let me see what I want to do. I want to go to page 1 so we can get the name of this book here.
All right. So what he does now, well, he doesn't do anything. He goes to another book. Hold on. He goes to another book, right? And I'm like, now why does he only read that? You see, us brothers and sisters, or who are reading often, we tend to see these books, and every now and then someone will bring it up to our attention. Like, I remember that book. So anyhow, I'm like, wait a minute. If I recall, I had a picture of it. I went through my phones. It took forever to find, but I finally found it. So now don't worry about it. It says you good. So I'm going to read you guys what this book is saying. So you can, so like the funny part is that this guy ignores, it says this also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black. He reads over that. For this is only true of the Portuguese Jews. So now, remember, family, we've been reading about history now. So who started the slave trade? Who started the slave trade? Can somebody tell me? What nation of people started the slave trade? Who first came out before Columbus? Do you guys know? Let's see if you guys know. I want to know if you guys know. I'm going to continue, but I just want you guys to answer that if you can. Okay. Now we're going to read a little bit. That's right. Portuguese. Portuguese. You were close. But it was the Portuguese that actually started it. Okay? And he says, and he agrees that the Portuguese were mostly black. Okay. Now I'm going to read it quick so you can see what this guy's actually saying, okay? First of all, this book is called, my apologies. Let me be at least somewhat formal. A New Voyage to Italy with curious observations on several other countries. You see right there where it doesn't cross the F, it's S. Switzerland, blah, blah, blah. You see the Flanders, you see crosses. Okay, so now I believe volume 2, part 1, and I think this is year 1739. 1739, okay? So now check this out. Where is it? Page 25. Okay, let's go here. Here it goes right here. All right, let's begin. It says, the Jews at Rome enjoyed some measures of liberty and lived somewhat easily before the pontificate of Paul IV. But the Pope was a terrible enemy to them. Okay? For whereas before they were permitted to live in all parts of the city, he confined them to one corner of it, whether he ordered them to retire at the close of the evening. He forced them to sell their possessions and suffered them only to trade in old clothes and old goods. He commanded them for a mark of distinction to wear yellow hats, because I'm digging into that, by the way. We'll talk about it later. And issued out of a very express prohibition that no Christian should either eat or converse with them, meaning white folks. Remember that, fam. Okay? Remember this family. And I informed them that by decree of Gregory the VIII, they were obliged, or at least a certain number of them, to hear a Christian sermon every Saturday in the afternoon. But I have not yet had an opportunity to see the assembly. The Italian Jews, and particularly those of Rome, as some of themselves assure me, do scrupulously observe the law that enjoins them to marry at 20 years of age, which is actually what the scriptures talk about when you go to war too, at the farthest under the plane of ignominy, and being treated as persons living in sin. The number of the Jews at Rome may at present amount to about 7 or 8,000, according to the vulgar computation. When any Jew or infidel is willing to embrace the Roman religion, the solemnity of this baptism is put off to the Saturday of the Holy Week, unless some urgent consideration requires greater haste. The ceremony is performed in little buildings called Rome Baptisadio, joining the Church of St. John the Lateran, where they believe Constantine the Great was baptized. All right, let me continue here. Let me see. We're taking. Okay, let me go to this page. All right, the author of La Roma Santa affirms. Here's the point. The author of La Roma Santa affirms that the Jews stink and that their noisome smell vanishes after they are baptized. Cosa maravigliosa c'è ricevuto il osto battesimo non pusano più. I don't know what it means. I know not why these should be reckoned wonderful, for those who are to be baptized are so carefully washed and cleansed that they must needs become sweet, though they really stunk before. But it's ridiculous to imagine that the Jews, as being Jews, have a particular smell, right? The Jews at Rome are very poor. Those who are poor are always nasty, and those who are nasty usually stink. This is a mystery. Now, check this. This also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black. For this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always among one another beget children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern regions. But the Jews who are originally in Germany or of Germany, those, for example, I have seen at Prague, are not blacker than the rest of their countrymen, meaning they're all about like swarthy. But see, this guy says that the Germans were Khazarians. But let's continue. Though nobody, here's my point, then he doesn't read this. So whoever you are one very ignorant individual, because you go to another book, but you don't read the following pages. And it reads, though nobody can doubt that those of the Jewish nation are destitute of all authentic tradition, and that as being Jews, they have not, I repeat, they have not in any particular knowledge either of the laws of customs or of their ancestors or even of the Hebrew language. I have, however, been willing to take care to satisfy you in asking. Wait a moment, I skipped something. It says here, though nobody can doubt that those of the Jewish nation are destitute of all the authentic traditions, and that as being Jews, they have not any particular knowledge either of the laws or customs of their ancestors or even of the Hebrew language. You see this? I have, however, been willing to take care to satisfy you in asking several of their rabbis in Germany and Italy about what you have desired, with making them read some periods in Hebrew distinctively to observe how they pronounce it without losing time here. In entire, again, in the particularities of your question, I will tell you that I have forgotten nothing, and that I have drove my curiosity further than yours, having not forgot that the diverse doubtful things that are marked in the grammar, or which are the results of the different opinions of the grammaring. So he's talking about pronunciation. Then it says, the answer I have then you to make in a few words about this affair is that these Jews, let me repeat it, that these Jews have furnished me with nothing. Let me repeat that. That these Jews have furnished me with nothing. Let me read that again. Hold on. What does this mean? And this is written in 1739. This guy is saying that it says here, the answer I have then for you to make you in few words about this affair is that these Jews, North, South, Portuguese, Germans, Khazarians, Africans, whatever, right? All of you guys, Latinos, because that's another topic today, that none of you guys, not even Khazarians, you Yiddish, you're Sephardic Jews, all of you. Okay, hold on a second, fam. Hold on. All of you. It says here, I want you to look at my face. I want you to remember my face, whether in this lifetime or the next, or spiritually. That's why the Most High put me back here. Don't forget. It says, and I quote, the answer I have then to make you in few words about this affair is this, that these Jews, black and white, have furnished me with nothing that one can draw any use from. And indeed, what could they say to Christians that the Christians do not already know as well as they? Gotcha, bitch. Because the Christians know what these guys did, like Swarte Pete goes right back again. Swarte Pete, listen, I know that some of you guys are going to get butt hurt, but this proves that Swarte Pete was the right-hand man of the white man. Y'all were in cahoots with each other. That's why they're saying cognitive dissonance. You don't want to embrace the fact that Dutch had a lot to do with slavery, and you guys were all part of it. Yeah, you guys were all part of it. It says, have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? Who are those people that pretend to teach each other? Damn. Thank you. Hold on a second, bro. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. I love that, man. Let me do it again. Hold on. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Here's the home, bro. Hold on a second. Their transgressions, and the house of Jacob, their sins. Thank you, brother. And it says here, have they any secret source or immediate revelation? It's kind of like us, fam. Who are those people that pretend to teach each other? IUIC, GMS, ISUPK, Sakari, FOPI, all of you, you're welcome to come and tell me that I'm wrong. Please do. Because if I'm wrong, if I'm your brother, correct me. But I guess you don't think so. Because as soon as I look like me, you call me the other nation. But if I was black looking, you just call me a Jake. But let's continue. Have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? Who are those people that pretend to teach each other? On the contrary, they are a poor sort of creature, so filled with false notions, so conceited of their monstrous idea, that I would never advise young people to have any commerce with them for fear of receiving from them some ridiculous prejudice. Damn. Boom. Hey, aren't they doing this right now? It says here, it says here, who are those people that pretend to teach each other? On the contrary, there are a poor sort of creature so filled with false notions. Jeremiah 14:2, it's about color. No, it's not. So conceited of their own monstrous ideas. We're the people of the book, that I would never advise young people to have any commerce with them for fear of receiving from them some ridiculous prejudice. Here's one example of ridiculous prejudice, right? Because right now, let's see, where you at? I'm gonna show you something. This is what's gonna watch. Hold on, come on, brother. Here it goes right here. Show you something. Let me show you something. It goes right here. Let me see the short. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Hold on a second. Oh, here it goes.
Understand that Yahweh is coming to wreak havoc on the earth, man. You think the Lord and Savior, you think Christ is gonna come back with hugs and kisses and rainbows and dragonflies and ponies and a bunch of unicorns?
The evil bow before the good.
Right? If you think this is wrong, then you must hate the Bible.
Chapter 2. It's the book of Daniel. It's the book of Daniel. They stabbed me on me.
Then the king made Daniel a great man.
And gave him many great gifts. That's right.
I'm not gonna jump in.
You're not gonna hurt me that much, sorry.
I'm not gonna jump in. Just stay back. Stay down. Oh my gosh,
All right.
all right. But then you can be dismissed and go do whatever the hell you want to do.
Reads, and I quote, let's go back. Well, by the way, remember the scripture, fam. You know where I'm going. Verse 9. Ecclesiastes 1:9. What has happened then? I'm sorry. What has happened before will happen again. What has been done before will be done again. And there's nothing new in the whole world. You see, look, they say, here is something new. But no. Not at all, fam. It has all happened before. This is why regeneration is real. Long before you were born. So you were born before too. Before you were born. No one remembers what has happened in the past. And no one and no one in days to come will remember what happens between now and then. See that? That's why I say I, the philosopher, have been king over Israel and Jerusalem. The vanity of wisdom. This is why he's talking like this. He's saying that in his regeneration, he didn't really learn much, did he? Because he came back again and he followed and broke again. The vanity of wisdom. All of this knowledge, and you go and trip yourself all over again. But again, we see here. The answer I have then to make you in few words about this affair is that these Jews have furnished me nothing. This is talking about the white Jews, so-called, and the black Jews, so-called. So now you guys understand who Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 is? Hold on. Sorry, Pamela, I like to do that. The answer I have then to make you in a few words, I want this to stick with you guys, about this affair is that these Jews have furnished me nothing. This is white folks telling other white folks and other black folks that they furnished him nothing in 1739. And in nothing that one can draw any use from. Oh, we're the Jews. Where? Oh, that. No. Well, no. No. Nothing. And indeed, what could they say to Christians? Watch this. Because why? Because they were conquered. Remember? Remember they were conquered in 711 AD? Now it's making sense, right? Indeed, what could they say to Christians that the Christians do not already know as well as they? Because they weren't coming all as Jewish. Watch. have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? Well, we know here, you one Westerners, right? You what do you call it? You 12 tribe believer. Oh, by the way, and this goes to you Taino brothers. If you say that you don't believe in the 12 tribe chart, but you still call yourself Ephraim, then you're stupid. No offense. That's just real talk. Brother love to brother love. If you don't believe in the 12 tribe chart, then you're not Ephraim. Because you can't prove it. Because there's a lot of beautiful areas in all the islands. And I also have proof that many of the Mayas, our brothers in Yucatan, were still being shipped to Cuba in 1846, several years in Cuba. So that's why the 12 tribe chart is bunk. It's a joke. But if you call yourself Ephraim and you're so-called Puerto Rican, but you don't believe in the 12 tribe chart, then I'm sorry. That's ignorant. Stop it. I'm just letting you know. It says, have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? What, a dream? A dream gave you the 12 tribe chart. Let's go. Any immediate revelation? Or who are those people that pretend to teach each other? Are they not doing that? Are they not teaching each other? Do you guys not teach each other? In your rooms, IUIC, don't you guys all mingle together and teach each other all these blasphemous things? Yeah, they knew it. I'm glad, bro. I'm gonna show a page today. Thank you, bro. I'm actually gonna show a page. Let's see. Do I have it? Oh man, all praises, bro. You reminded me of it. Oh man, hold up. Thank you, brother. Man, you see that, fam? This is what I love, man. This is what I like. Hold up. Where are you at? I had the picture. Here it goes. Hold up a second, family. Okay, cool. I almost forgot, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. It says, have they any secret source or immediate revelation? Remember, fam, I get to repeat it, but I'm going to say it again. This is a white man, Christian, telling the white so-called Jewish and the black so-called Jewish that they have some secret source. Who are those people that pretend to teach each other? On the contrary, there are a poor sort of creatures, so filled with false notions, so conceited in their monstrous ideas, that I would never advise young people, we saw it, to have any commerce with them, for fear of receiving from them some ridiculous prejudice. Man, bro, we just saw that ridiculous prejudice. These guys actually believe they're Israel. Watch this. These Jews, some Oriental, others Portuguese, Germans, and Italians, have each of them a different way of pronouncing Hebrew. As if we see that in each of these nations, all pronounce even Greek and Latin after a different manner, without being able to agree amongst themselves about the original pronunciation of these two languages, which, however, ought to be familiar to us in comparison to the Hebrew tongue. Watch. But the Eastern Jews do not only differ from the Jews in Europe. Those of the same nation vary also, everyone relying upon his own arguments. IUIC, GMS, ISUPK, Sakari, GOCC. Who else? You guys all do that. You guys all do that. You guys all do that. As I was this, let me see. Hold on. Do not differ from those. Hold on. Argument which he thinks to be good. As you see, they do in our schools and our grammars. As I was discoursing with two rabbis of this place, they fell short in a quarrel with the third that lived in Linghorn. So they were arguing. There was three of them, and then they too got in an argument with the other one about the pronunciation of that Yiddish word, and the difference that the dagit, bring upon certain occasions in the sound of some consonant. Then he says, I endeavor to write down. Now, you guys are going to really laugh at this. I endeavor to write down or paint the sound that these Jews made when they pronounced certain syllables, to remember it. But I quickly found it was impossible to succeed in it. one might as well pretend to express with the letter of an alphabet the cries of an animal and the most hoarse or odd sound, like that, as to describe the noise that they make in their nose and their throat in some of their pronunciations. For that undertaking, we should invent some new character, and it would be even necessary also to form our ears by a long use to be capable of becoming the echo of the sound they produce before we can put them down in writing with the said characters. But indeed, all that would be much in vain, and it is too certain that the poor Hebrew language is fallen to decay in all parts, on which side soever we consider it, that any man of ripe years and a true good understanding that will apply himself for some sort of time to the experimentation soon discovers very plainly that the language is as it were quite lost, that one need not spend many months to arrive at the highest true knowledge that can be acquired of it, considering the present conditions, to make himself capable, as much as anyone can be, of entering into best criticism possible of the holy Hebrew volume that is in our hands, and that by consequence, when men propose to themselves to a great deal of glory of passing in their days in the disagreeable and fatiguing search of after things that are sure not to be found, far from meriting by this conduct the applause to which they aspire. Basically, fam, they can't prove a damn thing, in a nutshell. But remember why I brought this book out. I brought this book out because remember the guy that said, hey, look, Portuguese are all black. See, African Americans, you guys need to read down, and you need to read up, and you need to read further down, because this book here that your boy brought out, saying that this proves that Jews are black, is actually contradicting that. I've done this to you, Nate the Snake. I've done this to you, IUIC. I've done this to you many, many times. And I do this to you, all of you guys that bring up these ridiculous books, all you wabos, bring what you got, and I will show you how to read it. This illiterate Mexican who couldn't even finish school, okay? Who has a massive record of just being a drunk. I'm proud of it, fam, because that's what woke me the hell up, man. Okay, all right. So that I'm glad. Yeah, we only stuck around. Only a few people stuck around. You guys are very loyal. I appreciate you, man. Anyways, this is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? This isn't for everybody. What you got? Myers were being shipped to Cuba to work in sugarcane fields. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna read the book out. It's in Spanish. Shalom, Salome. So now, let me finish this real quick. Now I'm gonna read this to you guys, and then we're gonna call it a day because I gotta go. I'm gonna read this here. This is from the Jew and the Negro. Okay, it reads: the Black Jewish congregation are made up of Caribbean island Negroes who are descendants of miscegenous marriages between Sephardic Jews and blacks, descendants of the slaves and Jewish-owned southern plantations left over from the Back to Africa movement of the 1920s and recent converts. The conversion began with the Great Migration in 1915 and hit their peak in the 30s, 40s. There are almost solely in northern urban phenomena. Some converts are open about the source of their religious alliance. Others in greater need of support claim to be falashas who have only recently discovered that they are offspring of the Black Jews of Ethiopia and claim a pedigree that goes back to the King of Solomon and Queen Sheba, yet they can't confirm it. Then it says here, humor too divulges a people's self-image. By direction, the joke indicates that value of the group invented it. The joke also serves as a safe expression of those emotions that have mostly been carefully expressed. Since Jews value things of the mind and the Negroes elevate the physical prowess, there's not even in humor much that they share, with the exception that both see themselves as victims of the Anglo-Saxon world. So again, we're seeing this, right? And now let me finish it with this here, fam. Finish it with this. and then that's it. This is from the Lost Tribes of Myth. Okay, remember, Nate, I've showed you. You love going to this book, Nate the Snake. You love it. You love it. But you're dumb, and you guys, for believing this idiot, are dumb too. All right, this is the page right before the map. Let's read it, and then we're done. And then 2 verses, and that's it. Mr. Mayor Shapiro is a second letter informs me that this is the page before the map, by the way, that Nate loves to show. You Nate the Snake, you bastard. You damn mamzer. That's what you are. There is another Newark in New Jersey and several in other American cities where there is a considerable Negro population. Some are the commandment keepers. You mean like One West, ISUPK? Yeah, like that branch, right? Mingling Judaism and Christianity. And some of the Beth Zion division holding to Orthodox Judaism. The respective leaders, after the fashion of the Jewish Shaliach, travel from one branch to another to strengthen the brethren, and incidentally collect $1 per member as weekly dues. Their spiritual work consists chiefly in teaching their flock in very little Hebrew, and saying with them some ritual prayers, and urging ceremonial observances and stated festivals. But this arises again the issue. Was not that about all the Judaism that much of North Africa ever had? Some young Jewish Negroes in Harlem employed among the Jews do not belong to neither of above proselyte movement, but being pleased with their Jewish employer, they have chosen to take on their religion and have learned Jewish prayer and gone daily to synagogue schools of their white Jewish friends. And considering the spread of Judaism by the institution of slavery, this present tendency should be remembered. These cases of proselyting among American Negroes are submitted without criticism. Their significance has already been stated. They show what always possible in Africa. They prove what was been done through century after century. Conversion, which is why this map is what it is. The Falasha, the converts, all of these are converts, which is why they reference Genesis 10:14. That you can't put all these Philistine people in this sole map because they're proving in this book that they're converts. Nate, read the book. These cases of proselyting among American Negroes are submitted without criticism. Their significance has already been stated. They show what was always possible in Africa. They prove what has been done there through century after century. 700 AD. Remember the book that Culomero brought out? Jews and Muslims? They prove what has been the few scholars' volumes upon those more persistent and well-organized expressions of religious thinking that the writers class of the men of Yahwist and Jewish history. The above cases also show that the Yahwism of the great Old Testament prophets, when distorted in a pretext for a single racial pretension, only sets each race to touch by Yahwism to assert itself to be the mythical chosen or superior race. The candid historian smiles at all these claims as baseless, but the passionate struggle between liberal spiritual teacher proselyters and their opponents have not been occasions for smiling. And Nate doesn't read that, but shows you ignoramus Black Americans. This, man, you can't make this stuff up, fam. All right, now I'm going to show you this real quick. I thought I had it. What was it? Didn't I show it? Did I show it? Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. One more. My bad. I forgot. My bad. I'm just touching on these, all right? Here it goes, right? Where you at? Right here. It says, this is from, can't remember. It says, I'll read to the bottom. While the number of African explorers is impossible to determine, they participated in some way in virtually all of Spanish expeditions in the New World in the 16th century. These Black conquistadors set an example for the subsequent racial relations throughout the entire Spanish colonial experience. Sephardic Jews, Africans, Muslims. All right? This is who they are. And it says here, Let's see. The Black Conquistador set an example of subsequent racial relations throughout the entire Spanish colonial experience, living their daily lives with degrees of complexity that rarely would be achieved by Black men and women in early English settlements in the Caribbean and North America. Indeed. Mac, if you guys can see that, it's on the bottom. Indeed. Wherever Spain set its flag of conquest in the Americas, Africans helped hold dependent. Straight up, fam. Anyways, that's all I got. All right. Appreciate you guys being here. I wanted to make a short class. That was what was available yesterday. Hopefully it makes sense, man. I hope it's edifying. That's it. I just wanted to do this, fam. Okay. So, anyways, if you guys have anything to say, by all means, please do. Pass this message aboard. Show it to your friends. Listen, we got to keep promoting these things. All right. So, other than that, fam, let me go ahead and actually, I'm not going to do a song. I just want to finish it. Okay. So, let me pray Matthew 6. And then stay with me, please, and then we'll finish it off. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Y Cal, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.